Yellen described inflation as unacceptably high and called it the president's top priority.
First of all, it's not inevitable. Secondly, we're in a stronger position than any nation in the world to overcome this inflation.
Something like 60% of CEOs and business leaders say they do expect a recession in 12 to 18 months. You're not going to talk Americans into a better mood by saying, don't worry, other people have it worse. This is just not going to persuade people that these are good times in America.
What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and I have got some video footage and headlines you are not going to want to miss as we're hearing that our economy, what is coming in the future, well, it's not looking good. Yet the White House is responding and saying, listen, it's not that bad. A recession is not inevitable. But the question is, are the American people going to be convinced, especially as we're coming up on midterm elections? Is that what they're going to want to hear right before they hit the polls? Well, I've got some video footage that you are not going to want to miss, some suggestions on messaging that the Biden administration might want to do. And we're also hearing that behind closed doors right now, the White House is taking into consideration every possible option to bring down these gas prices, including wiping out the federal gas tax, which will help out with about 18 cents per gallon, and also gas rebate cards or gas stimulus checks to go out to everybody to help out. So we could be seeing even more stimulus checks here very shortly. This is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, very quickly, before we dive into the video footage, take a look at the headlines coming out. This one just from yesterday, a recession is not inevitable, says White House Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Now, this is not the first time we've heard this. Take a look Thursday. Despite warnings from economists, Biden says a recession is not inevitable, saying, listen, it's not as bad as you think. We're actually doing better than any other country in the world with inflation, was his exact words, which was fact-checked and we found out is not accurate. Now, also, Brian Deese, economic advisor, says recession is not inevitable as the Biden team pushes back on recession fears, saying, listen, it's not that bad. But they're saying when the American people are hurting with 41-year high inflation and record high food and gas prices, that might not be the best thing to say right now. People don't want to hear that it's not that bad. They want to hear about the actions that you are taking to help them out right now. I might be wrong. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but might not be the best choice of words. Well, you guys, we're hearing that also behind closed doors, the White House is trying to figure out how to resolve this gas issue that we're currently experiencing. Let's take a look. Coming out yesterday, White House is scrambling to stem soaring gas prices. And as I mentioned, they're taking into consideration everything right now. White House is considering sending rebate cards to the American people to help with gas prices. But we're hearing that those rebate cards, well, we've got a chip shortage that we still have an issue with. So those rebate cards are very likely going to turn into stimulus checks to send out to the American people. Now, they wanted the rebate cards to be specifically for gas. With checks, they could use it on anything, and they wanted it to be directly for gas. But they're saying, listen, we're not going to be able to do that with a chip shortage. Just send out the checks. Now, if you want to get all the details on that, check out my video yesterday on Father's Day as I covered it with my kids to get you caught up on gas stimulus checks that we're hearing very likely could be on the way here very soon. But you guys, let's dive into the video footage, get you caught up as to what they're saying about these record high prices, what the Biden administration might want to take into consideration if they want to help out the American people here very soon, and win in those midterm elections coming up here very soon. Democrats that are in full control, we're hearing that they are sweating because people are not approving and they are not happy with the economy. So let's go ahead and dive right in. But before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, smash that like button for me. Just takes a second. Helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. And if you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not come join the Ram fam? I'll let you know everything going on. All you got to do is smash that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I'll let you know everything taking place, including stimulus checks on various levels. We're hearing that state, city, and county checks, hundreds of them are going out. People don't even know about them, and they're only available for a limited amount of time, so people are missing out. And I want to make sure that that does not happen to you here on the Steve Ram channel, so we're assembling a list. Keep an eye out for it. It's going to be coming out here very soon. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. There's a lot going on, so I hope that that channel is a blessing to you as well to try to figure out what to do with all of this chaotic economic environment. But with that being said, let's dive into the video footage, and let's start off with White House Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, what she had to say, and also right after that, what the Biden administration might want to do if Democrats want to stay in power in these midterm elections. Let's go ahead and dive right in.
Tonight, the Treasury Secretary is speaking out about the struggling economy and the worst inflation in 40 years. Just today, Janet Yellen described inflation as unacceptably high and called it the president's top priority. She echoed his words, saying, "I don't think a recession is at all inevitable." Inflation is now at 8.6%, impacting just about everything we buy, from the grocery store to those costly fill-ups at the gas pump. With the average cost of a gallon of gas now hovering near $5 nationally, Yellen suggests a gas tax holiday is certainly worth considering. For more on what this all means for the millions of Americans struggling just to get by, ABC's business correspondent Deirdre Bolton leads us off.
Tonight, with inflation at 8.6% and Americans getting squeezed on prices for basics like food, gas, and rent, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the economy will slow.
It's been growing at a very rapid rate. It's natural now that we expect a transition to steady and stable growth. But I don't think a recession is at all inevitable.
According to economists surveyed by Bloomberg, the odds of a U.S. recession in the next 12 months are rising. The possibility is now pegged at 30%, double the odds from 3 months ago.
It's really kind of tough, because you want to have everything provided, but everything is so high.
Americans still paying near record prices for gasoline, more than 60% higher than this time last year.
I'm dipping in savings so that I can live.
The price of gasoline affects so many parts of the economy. The diesel that trucking companies use also near record highs.
Next time you go to the grocery store, the hardware store, you buy something online, you're going to pay for it. Or I should say you're going to pay much more for it, given the fact that diesel prices now are approaching $6 a gallon for a national average.
As for potential fixes, a federal gas tax holiday may be on the table, with consumers paying 18.4 cents less per gallon every time they fill up.
President Biden wants to do anything he possibly can to help consumers. Gas prices have risen a great deal, and it's clearly burdening households. So he stands ready to work with Congress, and that's an idea that's certainly worth considering.
People can certainly use all the help they can get. Deirdre Bolton joins us now. And Deirdre, the Fed has been hiking interest rates in order to try to slow inflation and bring down prices. But there are concerns that as the economy slows, people could lose their jobs.
Lindsay, that is a possibility. The Fed is really between a rock and a hard place here. Secretary Yellen saying earlier today it is going to take skill and luck to bring down inflation while maintaining a strong U.S. labor market. But she says she does think it is possible.
Switching gears here, President Joe Biden, speaking in an AP interview yesterday, addressed the state of the economy, saying that the American people are really, really down. However, he struck a more optimistic tone about a possible recession, saying, first of all, it's not inevitable. Secondly, we're in a stronger position than any nation in the world to overcome this inflation. For more on the president's comments, let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman. Rick, just want to get your reaction to what the president had to say.
He did give good answers, but I think the problem is that he's being asked these questions in the first place. It's like the old saw about when did you stop beating your wife? He's giving the right answers. He's saying the way out of this is to project confidence. But the fact that he's getting these questions in the first place indicates the kind of political problem he's in. He's going to get more of this. The U.S. economy is not in a recession. I think it's important to keep reminding people that. We still have a very healthy job market despite inflation getting everybody down. But Biden is right about people being in a really foul mood. We have one consumer confidence survey that is at its lowest level ever. That is lower than it was during the financial crash in 2008. It's lower than it was after the September 11th terrorist attacks in 2001. So clearly something's wrong out there, and Biden knows this is political peril for him.
Rick, how does this play out for the midterm elections?
It's terrible for Democrats, and they seem to know it. Biden can he will do everything he can to try to convince people that things are still pretty good. Earlier this week, he said he's never been more optimistic about the outlook for the United States. But you can't talk people into feeling better. And this is almost entirely about inflation. And within inflation, I think it's almost entirely about gas prices. We've never seen gas prices around the country that start with a 5 before. And I think for Biden and the Democrats to have any hope of holding on to Congress in November, for sure we need to get gas prices into the $4 range, and $3 would be better. I think people will feel like we're finally out of the woods when they see gas prices that start with a 3, and I don't think we're going to get that this year.
As we're seeing some of the inflationary pressures shift as well from goods to services, or in more so to services as well, during a heavy summer travel season, we've heard Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, pressing airlines. So this more out of the administration, more out of the White House, particularly around what they're looking to do to try and help out consumers. But, what is within these talks and what's actually going to come at the end of it?
There's just not much that the administration can do on its own. What might make a difference, or at least make it look as if Democrats are on the ball, is if they could pass some sort of legislation. And there still is a chance they could pass, I guess, what you might call the remnants of Biden's Build Back Better plan, which might be some kind of green energy tax credits, but, perhaps very minimal social welfare spending. But honestly, at this point, people don't want to hear about green energy. They just don't want to hear it right now. People want to know, a lot of people are like, I get it. We need to address climate change, which is a very long-term problem. What are you going to do for me right now? And, here's what we're going to see. We're going to see Biden going over to Saudi Arabia this summer. What he needs to deliver from that trip is a tangible outcome in terms of more Saudi Arabian oil output. And there are some other things they're working on. There just are no quick fixes to this inflation problem.
And Rick, it doesn't sound like President Biden might be getting much support from the business community. A good survey, or a dour survey, I should say, from the Conference Board out today, just looking at waning consumer confidence amongst the business community and the leaders that, in fact, are running these large companies.
Yeah, and in that survey, something like 60% of CEOs and business leaders say they do expect a recession in 12 to 18 months. I mean, guys, do you feel like I do? Let's just start the recession today. Let's get into it and get it over
Rick, I wonder if we're in one.
We're talking ourselves into a recession here, and we're not in a recession here in the United States. So one thing I'll say about that that Conference Board survey, that was a survey of global business leaders, and the economy in other parts of the world is worse than it is here. Europe may already be in a recession, and they are far more exposed to higher energy prices due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine than we are here in the United States. So Biden did say in his AP interview yesterday, said, we're in the United States, we're really in about the best position of any leading country in terms of our economy. He's right about that. But again, you're not going to talk Americans into a better mood by saying, don't worry, other people have it worse. So we may be sort of the cleanest dirty shirt, if you will, but this is just not going to persuade people that these are good times in America.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that gas stimulus checks are going to be on the way? Do you think the Biden administration is going to pull this together? Is our economy going into a recession? Are the Democrats going to win in these midterm elections, or is it going to be a red wave that we're hearing Republicans are likely going to be taking over the House and the Senate, and we'll have a full Republican Congress with a sitting Democratic president? Let me know your thoughts, you guys, but there is a lot unfolding, and as we get closer to these elections, we're hearing this is all going to be ramping up, and I will keep you up to date every step of the way. And with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If you'd like to stay up to date, it's free. Why not? Come join the Ram fam. All you got to do is smash that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I'll let you know about everything going on. Specific questions, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And we are working on a massive list of all checks and all levels, so you don't miss out on anything. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.